Welcome to the Line Life podcast. I'm Jeff Postlethwaite, Senior Editor of T&D World, and today we're bringing you more stories of the grit, courage, and inspirational teamwork that it takes to be a line worker.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the T&D World Line Life podcast. My name is Amy Fischbach, and I'm the field editor of T&D World magazine and the host of the Line Life podcast. Before we feature our interview episode for today, I'd love to invite you to become part of our Line Life podcast community by going to linelife.podbean.com. Also, I'll be at the 2025 International Linemen's Expo during the International Linemen's Rodeo Week this October. And if you'd like to be part of the Line Life podcast, make sure you swing by T&D World's booth on the trade show floor, and I'd love to talk to you. Now let's move on to today's episode, which continues the coverage of the military and the line trade. The guest for this episode is Chief Kevin Fischer from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and he was at the International Linemen's Rodeo Week in 2004 with the journeyman Lineworkers who were competing at the International Linemen's Rodeo. Kevin, can you talk about what brought you out to International Linemen's Rodeo Week and who you had competing in the 2024 event?
Sure. I'm with Delta Company 249th Engineer Battalion. Our Engineer Battalion, the Prime Power Battalion, sends teams out every year to the Linemen's Rodeo to compete. Particularly, our unit is the one reserve unit within that battalion, in which is the only organization where you will find true journeyman linemen wearing the U.S. Army uniform. We have apprentice teams and journeyman teams. The whole battalion has teams in each company as well, so there are several teams that we'll have competing in the military divisions.
Wonderful. And Kevin, now can you talk about the training program? Because I've talked quite a bit over the years with Rustin Nemo Owen, who I know helped to start the training program a long time ago, and the Lineman School for the U.S. Army. Can you talk about what skills they learn and how it prepares them for life outside the service once they become civilians?
Sure. There's actually a couple avenues of approach to this. For the two MOSs that we have within the battalion, the 12 Papa and the 12 Quebec jobs, the 12 Papa MOS is focused on the generation, the 12 Quebec is focused on the distribution. So for the 12 Quebec linemen, if that individual that wants to join the military has 2 years of an apprenticeship already completed or more, they do not need to complete any training with us. They will just join the Army. If they're prior service, they don't even need to go to boot camp or basic training. They get a uniform and then they just start performing duty with Delta Company in Providence, Rhode Island. If they are trying to get into the industry and having a leg up by joining Delta Company as a 12 Quebec, then they're going to complete basic training, standard Army basic training, and then go to the 4-month school at Fort Leonard Wood, where they'll learn the basics of climbing, general construction, safety, things like that.
And I've heard that military veterans often are very successful in the line trade. What are some traits that you think it takes to make it as a journeyman lineman in the U.S. Army?
For the 12 Quebecs in the Army Reserve, a lot of them, the majority of the ones that we are serving with are journeyman linemen in the industry outside of the uniform. So they have the skills that they learn on their job, they bring over to do in the Army. To be successful in that role, as long as an individual is interested in being in the industry, trying to find an apprenticeship or at least give back to the unit in terms of training new apprentices, that is probably the biggest bit of being successful in Delta Company. Delta Company is not the normal Army unit where you just go and run through the woods and dig holes and play with guns. We actually have real world missions that we complete on our drill weekends for either DoD installation customers or other U.S. government agencies.
So Kevin, now can you describe what kind of work that your journeyman line workers do on a daily basis?
Within Delta Company, the senior linemen are going to be doing planning and logistics works with myself as the project manager. And then once we get to an actual job site, then the linemen take over and run the show. Myself, as the project manager, by that point, I'm usually done with my job, so I pick up a shovel and help dig the holes.
Oh, that's great. So are you guys building new infrastructure, or what are some of your primary responsibilities?
Our job is to respond to requests for assistance or requests for forces from individual combatant commands throughout the world, or missions that we can generate with DoD installations to help alleviate some of their costs in repairing their infrastructures. There are still several installations that do own their own overhead utilities, and we come in and help offset the cost by doing pole transfers that are usually going to be very complicated, or energized pole changeouts where a customer can't take an outage, and they need the actual journeyman lineman skill to be able to do that.
And I know just as journeyman line workers travel all over the country for storm work, those who are in the military also are sometimes deployed overseas. Can you talk a little bit about those missions and maybe some places that you've been through the U.S. Army?
We send 12 Quebec soldiers overseas when they're needed by in the Middle East for oversight of contractor or controlled power plants and things. We've sent soldiers to storm repair after Hurricanes Irma and Maria in Puerto Rico, the super typhoon that hit Siam. We've responded to requests for assistance in Antarctica just recently. There's always interesting missions for us to do. We're the only organization that has the 12 Quebec MOS, so we're very, very busy.
I bet. And then how does it feel to be together here at the International Lineman's Rodeo Week and have a military division where your line workers can compete?
It's good to see our soldiers up there representing what we're capable of, and at the industry standard level. We demonstrate usually how proficient we can be at the tasks, and then our work portfolio speaks for itself to show what Delta Company is capable of doing for the country.
And then, Kevin, now I'd like to hear about your own military service. Can you talk about what inspired you to join the U.S. Army?
I wanted to buy a car.
And do you have any family members who are veterans?
Yes, my wife, we met in the Army together.
Oh, that's fabulous. And then let's go back to the rodeo. How did the line workers and the military prepare to compete at the event?
We do train-ups throughout the calendar year with the teams. We have a kind of selection course that is done where we decide who's going to be on what team. But generally, we give everybody an opportunity to come down and see the rodeo for the experience.
And for our Line Life podcast listeners who may not have had a chance to attend a Lineman's Rodeo Week, one of the big events is the International Lineman's Expo, in which there's companies from all over the world that showcase tools and technologies for the line trade. And Kevin, were there any tools or technologies that you guys were looking for out here that you may not have back home?
We're always looking for the newest technologies that'll help on the job site.
And then where are you stationed at right now?
The unit is based out of Providence, Rhode Island, just outside of Providence. But because it's a specialized unit, we do a traveling drill schedule. A lot of our linemen live throughout the continental United States and up in Alaska as well. And they're flown into Providence at no cost to them on a condensed drill schedule.
And then what happens during the drill schedule? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Because we have so little time with the soldiers because of the traveling nature of the unit, we are generally working every drill weekend we get. We have the normal drills where we have to do rifle qualification and things like that. But if we have the space to do lineman training for complete a project for a customer, then we're going to be doing that.
So when you bring together the different line workers to compete in the military division at the Lineman's Rodeo, have they competed together before, or are they generally from all over the country?
They're all going to be from different parts of the country, but a lot of the people in the unit have been in the unit for 20 or 30 years. The people have been there for so long that since the inception of the unit, the same soldiers are still wearing the uniform with the same patch. They're still there. So everybody has worked together. They might be from different utilities. They might be from some municipalities and some contractor organizations. And they might call things in the industry different names, but they all work together very well.
After spending your day-to-day job managing journeyman linemen, how does it feel to be around line workers from all over the world at the International Lineman's Rodeo Week?
It's impressive. It's an industry that everybody loves their job. You don't look around and see anybody with a disgruntled face. Everybody's got a smile on their face. I mean, the big bags of loot kind of help, but I know in my 18 years of service, this is my 4th unit, and it's been my favorite one because I like the job so much.
What do you like about the job, and what keeps you coming back day after day?
It's real. it's a real job. You're not sitting at a desk. You're building things. You're returning power to customers. It's rewarding.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Kevin, for the Line Life podcast.
Yep. Thank you.
If you're interested in learning more about the military and the line trade, make sure you check out an episode that I just aired featuring Christopher Garrett of the U.S. Army. Also, there's other episodes at linelife.podbean.com from a few years ago when I wrote an article called Veterans in the Line Trade. And you can learn more about the opportunities available to serve your community, not only through the line trade, but through the U.S. military. Again, if you have any suggestions for guests for the Line Life podcast, make sure you reach out to me at linelifepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening to the Line Life podcast.
This episode of the Line Life podcast was written, recorded, and edited by Amy Fishbach. It was produced by Jeff Postlethwaite. That's me. To listen to past episodes, visit www.tdworld.com/podcasts or find us at Podbean. You could also drop us a voice memo or message at linelifepodcast@gmail.com with your comments on this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Please follow this show on Podbean or your favorite podcasting app to be updated when new episodes are released. Thank you for listening.